We're good. Thank you, Ryan. All right, bye. There you go, Bern. I am sorry that it took so long to do that for you.
You did a
but-
great job. Now I have to be the host that lets everybody in because it won't let, I'm not sure.
It looks like you got a couple participants there too, so.
People are
And you
waiting.
can control with the keyboard and the mouse right there, you can control everything right there.
Okay,
And the camera is gonna face on. this
that's
section here,
fine.
so-
Thank you. I
Okay,
just am trying to, yeah.
kind of
okay.
jumbled, sorry.
No, thank you for getting this going. That means I don't have to totally. Okay, so I can do it from here.
Yeah. All right, good luck.
Thank you. Where does it say view? Let people in. View. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, guess what? Nothing was set up. Everything was locked. I've been here half an hour. And luckily, Larry Eastman was able to get a hold of Ryan. And I apologize, my cell phone is dead, so I wasn't able to call you. Okay. Hi, Hillary, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, wow. Woo,
I actually believe that nothing was set up. It's been par for the course for like the past 2 committee meetings I've been in.
oh, yeah, well, that plus, this is the 4th time this has happened to me. Personally, so for this committee. So I wasn't sure. So I'm at 3:12, I'm gonna call this meeting of the ADA committee to order. And I was gonna ask one of you to take minutes, but I didn't know if you'd both be able to get here. So I can do that because I have their form now to take minutes on. So Erica, Hillary, and Bern are here. And I don't see that. Okay, I'm trying to see, not join audio, start video. Sorry, I'm finishing getting set up because nothing I could do. There we go. Hi. And you can hear me through the owl, which is over there. This will allow me to look up things if I need to look things up. So are there adjustments to the agenda?
I don't have any.
Hillary?
I don't have any.
Thank you. We're the only ones here, so we're not inviting public comment. So will somebody move to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
I'll
I
move
will.
to, I'll second.
Perfect.
Okay, Hillary moves, Erica second. Our new agenda. Let me get rid of these papers. Our new agenda is I want to acknowledge the resignation. Hi, Hillary.
Hi.
I see you. Is to acknowledge the resignation of Maricel and Dina, which both happened over the last month. Dina sent a letter, an email to me, and I forwarded it to Nicholas. And Maricel sent one to me and to Nicholas, and then a personal one saying this just was a little bit beyond her bandwidth right now. And I can share with you, or you can talk to her if you want to know more. The January 15th, 2023 open meeting laws are in effect. And that's why I'm here. Otherwise, we could have just chatted with each other downtown or someplace else. We have an invitation to weigh in with City Council regarding the committee reset. I think you've all seen that the ADA was set to become a part of the Civic Center Committee and become known as the Civic Facilities Committee. That's in the January 3rd agenda, page 20, if you want to read more about that. Can you guys still hear me, or are you hearing the code?
I can hear you.
I've had some emails back and forth, and Nicholas said this is totally up to City Council, but there's been so much pushback basically on the redesignations, that resets, that it's unlikely there'll be much that happens on that. I've had feedback from the chair of the Equity and Diversity Committee saying that they felt we would slow them down or become an issue because we have federal mandates and they're a local group. And that is loosely paraphrasing what I said, so this is not a quote. And then I went to the Civic Center meeting last week, and they also came to City Council and testified that they thought they had a really good working group, and that they liked keeping their numbers above 7, and that they seem to feel that ADA would be an encumbrance to them. So as a result of all that, oh, I have to get my piece of paper I just threw on the floor. Coming back is a long ways down to the floor. Because our committee, we want to be made of people who understand life with disabilities. Many of us often have our own limitations, and this is one more thing in a challenging life. And that over the years, the ADA committee has done jobs for the city, the inventories that were taken and not used. For me, that's another indicator that it's not taken seriously. I've also heard one new city council candidate express that paving the roads was the top priority, and citing the other ARPA requests as being non-essential and not as important. And in that non-essential part is our 4 ADA letters of interest. So when I hear that, And that those people are gonna be the people showing up in March. I mean, if they're elected. That's not very encouraging to me as a member of the community. So I've been thinking about having a dissolution of the ADA committee. And that what we can do as a group of people in our community is to just have a citizen action group. And take things up and show up at City Hall, 20 people at a time, kind of a thing, and start behaving in that way to bring attention to different things. Or one thing would be to reorganize the committee or have a ADA appointed ADA officer, somebody who works for the city, who can ask for help if they want it. And then the third option is to have the ADA committee just meet like the DRB does, only when something comes up. And so we wouldn't have to have regular meetings, but if there was something that we needed to do, but I haven't seen that we're being asked to do anything that's meaningful. And that's my personal take on it, and I'll be quiet because I want to hear from you guys about that. Just hop in.
So I had to unmute myself. So Jeff Bergeron, what is the ADA coordinator for the city? He was, if you go on the city webpage, he is the guy to go to for the ADA stuff. And the development of the ADA in 1990, the city of Barry, like every other town and city all over the US, is mandated to have a transition plan. But the city of Barry does not have one, which is what the ADA committee was supposed to be writing, and the city of Barry developed the committee to help the ADA coordinator write it. Now, if the city of Barry wants to dissolve the ADA committee, I'm perfectly happy with that. However, the city of Barry is still required to have an ADA transition plan. The city of Barry is still required to have an ADA coordinator. Whether Jeff Bergeron sees himself as that or not, they have to have one according to the law. Because the city of Barry does not think the ADA is priority, if they have somebody who has an ADA complaint and they do not fix it, that's up to them. You know, I would hate to be the city of Barry if they get sued. I would hate, you know, if they have somebody on city staff that needs a reasonable accommodation or is a person who cannot get to the bathroom downstairs, that's on them. You know, I do not see ourselves with the Civic Center. I don't know how that would work. I've heard two trains of thought on that, is that this, you know, my understanding of the Civic Center is that it's the Civic Center. I don't really know what the Civic Center committee does. My understanding is that the Civic Center would just, would encompass everything. And I don't think that's their priority base.
No,
But that's my understanding. And Byrne's shaking her head. So, and I've talked to equity and diversity, and yes, we do fit under them for some things. I can see us working together on projects. But that's a whole nother ball of wax. So, I'm of two minds on this. I see ourselves being our standalone committee or not at all. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica.
I agree with that. I think we should, like what you just said about being a standalone committee, if we're gonna, I think it's an important group of people that come together, that we meet. It's not taken as seriously as we like it to be, but I mean, I think we should, I agree with the last part that Erica just said about being a standalone committee, and if we're gonna do that, then we can continue to do that, correct?
Yeah, in some email exchanges, I was told that there's not likely a lot of movement because there's been so much pushback from different committees.
Do they not know the law?
No, the pushback is the committee reset.
Okay,
So
okay,
the attempt that Nicholas had to reduce the numbers of committees, some don't have, and they're not fully like ours, we have 4 openings. So what he was trying to do was combine committees that he thought could have common goals.
right,
And this came out of the multiple staff who said, I just can't do that. And because they
Mhm.
have been so short-staffed for so long, that's why we don't see Jeff. Jeff's on 5 different committees.
right,
And we talk about stuff, but we usually don't have any big actions. And however, like the Civic Center Committee was working on, I guess, doing this grant that got in the money from Sanders, or their business people who are looking at the Civic Center as a place for the city to bring in trades and, like the trade shows and that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, and to also be a civic center. So we can talk about that separately later on.
And oh, go ahead.
I'd like to go on record as I'd like to ask for a motion to dissolve the ADA committee or to put it on vacation, or to do something else with it until we get the indication that we're doing something meaningful besides just talking about our frustrations or things that we can't seem to affect. This past week, I asked for time at City Council to present to City Council. I went to the committee reset and I spoke to City Council. Carol heard me saying that I supported the ADA committee 100%, and it was great. But what I was saying is nobody's paying attention.
Right.
These are the things we advocate for, but these are not things that are in our purview. We're not the ADA police. And
Right.
we have brought things, we bring things to the city. It was my understanding that we should present them to council. Council's where the decisions are made. That's where the budget is made. So I brought up budgetary items, but I go directly to the city manager, to the mayor, and my city councilors about these things. And I do them mostly as a private citizen. Sometimes I do them as an ADA chair. Putting together all those letters of interest, that was a lot of hard work. And now they're coming back to us saying, oh, we have all these competing things. that people want to spend their money on. So now we're gonna have you have it flush. It's gonna be a contest. It's gonna be a popularity contest, and you've got to put all this grant information and develop it as a grant request in order to get the money. I'm not doing that. I'm not a grant writer. I'm not putting hours and hours of my personal life, which is hard for me to do, into trying to to get $500 out of the ARPA funds so that people who can't see can find their way through City Hall. Or, I mean, there was another one that was just, it was like $800. It's been me showing up every month at City Hall and not having that middle door be open, that finally I complain to somebody every time, not a real complaint, but geez, this is a concern. I propped the door open so that the magnet would hold it open. Somebody removed the magnetic part that holds the door open. So that makes City Hall not accessible. And Nicholas told me last week that they have the parts on order, because I found online you could get parts for making that door work for about $85 to $100. And I'm going like, why aren't we doing this? This is like, you know, why do we have to work so hard to affect some really small item, but that small item changes accessibility for anybody using a walker, anybody who can't see, anybody who can't or has a scooter or an electric wheelchair or a wheelchair, because you can't open that door if you're using any of those things, or you don't know to open the door. So that's a lot of work, and I'm tired, and right now I'm feeling really angry. So I'm going to tell you that. And when I talked to somebody, they said to me, I said, how do we get people to listen? And they said, you go to disability, you find somebody who wants access and is denied access, and then you file a lawsuit. And like Erica said, you know, we don't want to do that. We don't want to see that happening to the city. But it appears that that is the only way that folks take ADA compliance seriously. And my understanding, Erica, from reading, and I've tried reading that several times, is that things only have to be taken care of if they're not an unreasonable accommodation or cost a lot of money, and nobody defines what that is. Unless you are changing something, renovating something, upgrading something, or making something new. So by law, our website must be the new one must be ADA compliant. I haven't heard anything from Ryan who said, oh, all the new websites are compliant. Erica said, no, she and I shook our heads. No, they're not. You have to build accessibility into your website. And then the same with the Civic Center. If the Civic Center is going to be doing any renovations, they must at least explore making things accessible on multiple levels. And when they're doing a $3.2 million plus fix to that building, they have to meet ADA requirements, and they need to be doing that. So if you're just, though, going along, and like we know City Hall has a plan for fixing it. I mean, Carol talked about it, it was great, lowering the countertops, making it so people could get in and out, lots and lots of things. But for the city to do that, that is going to be a multi-million-dollar project, because it involves so many different things that are architectural in the building. And so they're doing what little bits they can. But I came up with something that looks like about $25,000-$30,000 would give you a fully accessible bathroom. That would be single use or family use. Anybody could use it. It doesn't take much, a little lock on one side of the door and fixing up the toilets. And I did some plumbing evaluations, and that's where I came up with $26,000 for fixing that bathroom. And when Tom Lozon said that he had no idea, he's been mayor for 12 years, and it's just not about, this isn't against Tom. This is against this is to highlight people's awareness or lack of awareness. That he's been mayor for 12 years. He's been in and out of that building so many times. He's been on city council now. And he said he did not know there was not an accessible bathroom in the building. Because he never looks for one. He doesn't.
Right. He doesn't, yeah. If he had a family member that needed one, he'd be looking, wouldn't he?
And if he doesn't have a family member who is challenged with their sight, he would know how hard it is to find your way around City Hall. If he was aware of the issues that come from being hard of hearing or deaf, we would have a better transcription program. And even city councilors can't always hear each other. So they're talking about stuff and they're still not even really hearing each other. If you sit in city council at the meeting, you can't hear what they're saying. It's almost better to bring your Zoom and plug in your Zoom because the microphones are picking people up, but they're not speaking up loudly enough to project into the audience. So those are three forms of mobility, visual and hearing disabilities. And I know that there are other kinds of things. Some people don't want to come to meetings because of their ability to be in social settings. So that's really great that we're able to have Zoom. Anyhow.
So Bern, are you looking for a motion to put the ADA committee on hiatus until?
Yeah, I would really like to have some kind of language that says, we're going to step back from this until we get, until further time when city council decides that it's worth having a viable ADA committee, and then give us a clear charge.
Okay, so I will put a motion forth to put the ADA committee on hiatus until city council gives the ADA committee clear charge with an ADA coordinator.
Okay, so Erica is put ADA on hiatus until, will you say the words again?
Oh, I know you're gonna ask me that.
I can always look at the
And
Zoom.
you said until the city of Barry
Gives the
provides us
ADA
with an ADA coordinator.
No, with a clear, no, puts ADA committee on hiatus until the city council gives us a clear charge with a ADA coordinator
A clear and doable
charge with
Doable
an ADA,
charge.
with an ADA coordinator.
and ADA coordinator.
Because right now, Jeff Bergeron, he's just an ADA coordinator on paper.
I don't even
Correct.
know if he's really the ADR. It says on the website that he's the liaison. That's not the same as being the coordinator. So,
Gotcha.
not picking on. So Hillary, will you second that?
Yes, I'll second that. Yes.
All those in favor? Oh, any discussion?
What about projects like, Well, I keep thinking about the bus stop, at North Berry Manor, that's gonna happen, it just hasn't happened yet, right? Like things
It's
that we have been, it happened?
You see what you got.
I haven't seen anything.
Either that or it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen, because they didn't remove that median in the middle and. Oh my God, I hope,
It's not our committee that gets that done.
right,
It
well,
was, it's us individually doing advocacy work. And that's what I kept saying at city council meeting, is that hasn't been committee work that anybody pays attention to. This has been advocacy work, and the ADA is no longer acting as a we're trying to find things in the community that we advocate for over and over and over again. And
right,
it's only through it's through Dina calling up and sending emails and me saying to them, look, if you don't want to hear from everybody on the committee over and over, can you get back to me? Going to the transportation committee is where that action came out of, but as we see, it didn't happen. So
what if, this is just a hypothetical, what if you're a person in a wheelchair at the bus stop and you get hit by a car? Can they then sue the city of Barry for not having a handicap accessible bus stop?
I'm not sure. The thing that the city is doing is they're trying to cut out a little space for people to stand next to that bus stop out of the snowbank, so that people have a place to sit. But because that's one bus stop, there's a few people that go there. But you have 20 people calling up about the stink at the sewer plant, or you have 50 people saying, fix the potholes.
Yeah.
I saw it today coming over here, they're covered by snow, but I think the signs say slow down potholes.
Yeah,
So,
well, then I'll just have my tenants call them instead of call me, although I tell them that, but maybe I'll help them a little bit better with that, sounds like.
yeah, and I don't know who to tell them to call, because when Bill lost his assistant, he lost a lot of that planning and energy. And so he doesn't have that backup person. He's let the city know that he is going to retire, so they have advertised his position. Erica, if you know who, I guess I would call the TAC committee.
Yeah, and basically the TAC would say, call Bill.
And TAC would say, call Bill. So Hillary, this is one of the frustrations about how do you get stuff done, or just call City Hall.
Yeah,
Maybe if people just, City Hall represents our city, or call the city manager's office. I'd go with the city manager's office, because the city manager is in charge of that stuff, and just give people the city manager's office and tell them to call up.
okay,
Oh, and they might get, that's the best I can do. So this is part of our discussion. I'm going to bring us back to voting on putting the ADA on hiatus until council provides clear and doable charge with an ADA coordinator. Hillary seconded that. All those in favor?
aye,
Okay, Hillary says aye.
Aye.
Erica says aye. I have to record this because you're on Zoom, and I say aye.
I wonder how long it'll take to hear from anybody.
Oh, I'll be presenting this to them tomorrow night in the public comments section, and I will be sending them all emails. So that's my action.
Right, but I wonder how long it'll take to hear back from them.
We may never.
I guess so.
So if we care and we care in our daily lives and we care in our jobs, we'll just keep doing what we can do because that's what we can do,
Right.
you know.
So it's like Jeff says he's assigned to 5 different committees, but how many does he actually attend?
I don't know. That's why he's not been attending them. And what Nicholas said, in an email was that the likelihood, because he's not in charge, he said council is in charge. But he said it's likely that, committees that don't want to blend and want to be staying on their own, that the staff people who have multiple committees will be assigned to one committee, and the other committee won't have a city liaison person. So we don't know what that's going to look like. They're not doing it until the end of the fiscal year when all the committees are having reassignments. So that's why I think it's a good time to put this, our 2 cents in now. Yeah. And so I will read this at council and I will notify everybody on the list of who's who in the city, that this is what we decided to do.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to say, I'm sorry, Erica. I can't do it either anymore.
That's understandable, Vern. I understand.
I know you do. When you asked for help, and we could help you, we still had hope that people were really paying attention. And we know that right now they're not paying attention.
Right.
So I think I've written to the community on Front Porch Forum and other places that if you're walking downtown or you see downtown and you have your camera, if there's a flag that's hanging down in the middle of the street, take a picture of it so it's really clear. Take a picture of the store, and you can file send that to Janet Shatney, because she is the permitting person, and their permit says that they have to do certain things, and one is they have to keep stuff out of the walkways, out of the 5 feet travel way for pedestrians. And so the flags, the sandwich boards, somebody said to me, well, we need to be able to share. Yep, we do need to be able to share. We need to be able to share and put your sandwich board on the side of the walkway so that you're actually sharing that sidewalk with somebody who might be in a wheelchair or a walker.
Right.
And pay attention to the curb cuts, which are the Bobcats do not clean. And those curb cuts are there for multiple reasons, which I did not know. They are also there for mobility and for the people using white canes. That tells them where the curb cut is and where the crossing place is. And so that increases safety. There have been some positive actions that have taken place as a result of some of our advocacy work, but it took other people coming in from outside in the public saying, wow, that was really dangerous. I saw somebody almost get hit there. So we have there are some small things. I'm trying to find where I wrote the agenda, because there's something else next on the agenda. I got the minutes thing here. I'm sorry. This is
It's okay.
There we go. Here it is. Okay, the D I had down as defending the ARPA letters of interest. I submitted 5 letters and I rescinded one. One was for buying user way for the city website, because we now have an IT person. In the agenda, I gave you the link and the page number so that you can look at what those letters of interest are. If you have any thoughts about them, I've presented them with my name on them. I present them as ADA issues, ADA requests. If we want to see some of those things going further, we just need to wait until Nicholas is supposed to put together some kind of forms for people to fill out. Whether we do that or not, we can do that as a group of citizens. We don't have to call ourselves a committee. We can meet whenever we want to. We don't have to set up this time by not being a committee anymore. We can include other people in our decisions. We can, I don't know, to me, it seems like it frees us up to do a lot of stuff. What's your thought?
No, I think you're right. I think it frees us up to a lot of other things, you know, and not be a committee. So that's my. I realize it's not much of one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've taken care of that. You know what's out there. Once I submit this to City Council, I will let you know. And I'm sure it'll take an active City Council to do something. The other thing that we can do is add to it our resignations from the ADA committee. And so if you write a letter of resignation to, I don't know, I have to look and see. I don't even know, who do we write it to? I guess Nicholas.
Mhm.
So if we want to write a letter of resignation, please send each of us a copy. So then we'll know what we're each doing. And then there won't be a committee, and we won't have to meet the open meeting laws, and we won't have to come to places that are not ready for us, that don't have the information we need to function. And I know that's happened to some other committees, but this is the fourth meeting that has not been ready, or I've been able to go in and run the meeting. And I understand Zoom. I set up Zoom. There's missing passwords. There's the computer was locked up. I have to go, you know, if it wasn't for Larry Eastman, we wouldn't be having this. And I just want to sincerely thank him for his patience. Chief Bale came in and met me at the door to help out. And then he got Larry, and Larry's the one who knew all the technical stuff. He had to call Ryan 2 or 3 times and get an email sent in order for us to start this meeting today. And I think personally, that's a real waste of their time, and it's a waste of our time. So until they've got it together, unless something really big came along, I don't see that we have any reason to meet. So any movement, or just?
Well, I just want to say that if you all have any ADA questions, you know, you can reach out to me.
Oh, thank you.
And I forwarded the name of, was it Nate Bessio?
Yep, Nate Pizio.
Nate Bessio. He gave me some resources, so we can connect with each other. There was a person that was running a program down in Randolph, and I was gonna go and visit it, but then COVID happened. So I'm gonna look into doing that a little bit. And if you see problems on the street, or you have people who see problems like the plowing, like people plowing into the sidewalk's not accessible. The C-Click fix is checked once a week. If you want to try that,
Oh, good.
you can call the city manager's office and you can make a report if you want to. And the other, it's really the city engineer's office, but the city manager's office will get you there. And then one of the things that I've noticed are that people on trash day leave their trash bins in the middle of the sidewalk when there's snow. And so there's no place for pedestrians to go by. That is a compliance thing. And on the city website, I think I sent you all the link to this compliance page on the city website, and you fill it out and you say where you saw it and who you are and what your relationship to the person is. If you can take a picture of it and you can give them a picture. I do know that there are a couple that were really bad, and they've been corrected since they've been asked to not put their trash bins in the middle of the sidewalk. So it's a city law. Anytime you come across something that you think is wrong and it's a city law, you can call the compliance officer or send an email to the compliance officer. And for different things, some go to fire and some go to police. And Janet Shatney is in charge of the buildings and city signs and stuff, because those are all city ordinances.
Okay,
That makes sense?
yep,
Okay, so knowing,
Yes,
complaining is one thing, knowing whom to complain to or report to is another thing. So I'm just gonna say, report compliance as appropriate when we see it individually. You can do it, I can do it, anybody can do it. And the three of us can't be the eyes of the city, and we can't be watching everybody in the city. We're not the ADA police. And we can encourage people in our community to start speaking out more. I think, Erica, you said that. Did you say that about we seem to not be able to educate our council and educate the people in our city, so we need to educate our citizens.
right.
And so maybe as a group, we can talk about that. How do we, like Hillary, you just said, what do I tell my people? You're educating them all.
right.
So if you guys come up with ideas, send them my way, and I'll just be Bern. I won't be ADA chair. And we can work on some of this stuff when it comes up. Or we say, or like Hillary, you're asking about that. Let's find a way to ask about, why did that happen?
Yeah,
And it might be getting somebody who lives in North Berry Manor to come to city council via Zoom or in person and say, we were under the impression that this was going to be made accessible, and it's not. Why isn't it? And when
yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
when
Yep.
three people, one of them in a wheelchair, shows up at city council and asks that question, people are going to notice that. But they don't
Right.
notice it if I say it. They don't notice it if Erica says it anymore. And then So we need to question that. Does that make sense?
Agreed. Yes, it does. Makes complete sense.
And you can go to your city councilors, the
Mhm.
Barry, your housing downtown, the Northbury Manor is in Ward 2, right?
I don't know. I don't live in Barry, so I
Well,
don't know any of that stuff, but
it is Ward 2, and the city councilors for Ward 2 are Michael Booton and Teddy Wazazak.
okay, yeah,
Contact those two people and ask them if they would talk to your people about
that's a great idea.
why isn't that happening? And that you want to know why, and have them be the person that brings it to city council's attention rather than doing it through our city councilors. If you'd like, Hillary, I can ask Carol to go through where all your housing is, but it'd be better if you called and asked Carol and you had a list of all your buildings.
Yeah, I can find that out.
And ask her, or send her an email and ask her what ward each of those buildings are in. Green Acres is Ward 3. Highgate is Ward 3. I'm not sure about Tilden. And I think Jefferson might be Ward 1, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think that's all your buildings in town, isn't it?
Washington, Tilden, Northbury, yeah, Northbury Manor, Jefferson, yep.
Yep, so ask her about those and ask her which, and then if you go to the city website, it will tell you, say council. There's counselors' emails. You can have people start emailing those counselors and asking them for answers to some of these questions.
Sounds good. I will do that.
Thank you.
I think I have a couple people that'll send some emails.
That feels, yeah, and not a complaint email, but like,
Yeah,
we live here and we want to know why we were told this isn't happening. Why isn't it happening?
right,
Or what can you find out for us?
right. What, yeah, and see how them get back. It's a good idea.
And get back to me. I'd really like you to get back to me on it. Here, if you want to call me, this is my phone number.
Okay,
And if you need some help, I'll help you.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Erica, she knows if you're like, who do I ask? Ask Erica, because she knows everybody in the disability community. And
Not everybody, but a lot.
but you're our best resource there, Erica.
Oh, thank you.
You sure are. Both are.
So I really think that we have potential as individuals doing advocacy and maybe making a citizens advocacy group of our own that is apart from the city. And that's to be seen down the road, but that's my thinking. So thank you. It is 4 o'clock. Is there anything else?
Thank you, Bern, for all your hard work. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Bern.
Thank you. I really appreciate being appreciated. Who would like to make a motion to adjourn?
Well, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm not going to list a next meeting date. That will be fully dependent upon the city.
Yes.
All right.
And
Thank you, ladies.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
You're awesome.
So are you.
Okay. Now, next thing. Turning it off. And